But a huge month of Yeezys dropping ahead of us and a whole bunch of drop date information. Nike is also suing Stockx. We're also going to take a peek at some of those Louis Vuitton Air Forces and see how high that price has gotten so far. All of this and a bunch more because of course today we are going through upcoming sneakers, all of the leaks and rumors and everything you need to know to make sure you're set for these upcoming releases. But of course first we got to do a little release recap. We got to talk about what just happened this week, what sneakers released and did you manage to get them. First one that comes to mind is I think what dropped yesterday, and that is the Air Force One Jound and Bape collaboration. I didn't even bother going for them, but I know that it's a pretty clean pair of shoes. Let me know if you managed to get these or did you decide to pass. Oh, and also before we move on, of course the Dunk Low Panda dropped out in the US or restocked. Did you manage to get a pair of these? I know a lot of people were after it. Again, unfortunately today we don't have any news on a UK release just yet, but stay tuned because I will keep you guys updated. Either way, we've got two releases that are happening in the week which are right around the corner, so I thought let's open with that so you guys are set if you're after any of these sneakers. Acronym Blazer Low in two of these colorways which are pretty interesting. Finally, we have a release date and that is the 10th of February. A day before that, on February the 9th, we have the Bad Bunny Adidas Forum Power Phase. So I just want to remind you guys this should be loaded up and you should be able to get it on the Adidas Confirmed app. Hopefully a bunch of raffles as well. I know it's going to be pretty hyped. I don't think it's going to do anything like the previous Bad Bunny collaborations, but I definitely think people are going to be after this one. Moving swiftly on to some Yeezy news because we've got a lot of Yeezy dates to get through, and the first one is the highly anticipated Dazzling Blue Yeezy 350, and it is dropping on February the 26th. So that is this month, right around the corner. Get ready guys, because I think this one is going to be very popular. A lot of people already have early pairs and stuff like that, so I think this is going to be February's big release in terms of Yeezys. Let me know what you guys think about the SPLY stripe returning to the 350s in general, because it seems like Yeezy brand is going to be dropping quite a few of this style this year. I think there's at least one other colorway that's in the pipeline. Maybe like me, you've been waiting almost a year for this sneaker to drop and you're delighted by the news that it potentially could be dropping this month. We'll take a look at this because the Sacai and Nike Vapor Waffle, their final double pack of sneakers, is going to be dropping in February. These have been delayed for the freaking longest time. Like, they were supposed to release last year around July or something, June time. They just got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. I even did an early review on that sale pair. So there's a lot of early pairs out there. I believe a lot of them got backdoored because that's usually what happens when it comes to a delayed release. First of all, I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, well, you guys have said that it's going to be releasing every single month since its original release date, so I'm not going to believe it. Then thanks to you guys over on Instagram, you actually started sending me some of the raffles that are already loaded up. All I know is that it is mostly EU raffles and there was only one or two different ones that are actually available, so I wouldn't be too worried about missing out on one or two different EU raffles. Hopefully these are going to load up on the Nike Sneakers app, and hopefully there's going to be a bunch of different raffles to go and enter, because I for one want to get my hands on either of these. I just want a Sacai Vapor Waffle. It's a great sneaker and both of these colorways are clean. You wanted either of these February time. Hopefully cross your fingers that it doesn't get any more delayed. I was almost a little bit worried that they were just going to scrap this release in general, so I'm very happy to see both of these turn up. Like I said, we've got a lot of Yeezy news to get through, and while this story is going to be pretty surprising, at the same time it's kind of expected. Another Yeezy Wave Runner restock coming. Yes guys, the Yeezy 700 Wave Runner that released last Yeezy Day, which I believe was what, October, November, something like that. Either way, apparently they're going to be restocking this again. This information is from Yeezy Influence over on Instagram. All I know is that this sneaker is something a lot of people want in general. Like, waves don't die, baby, and this is still out here as one of the most popular Yeezy 700, or just Yeezys in general. Honestly, I can't even remember how many times these things have restocked, but I would be interested to know who hasn't got a pair yet and who is looking to get a pair for retail. March 2022 if you're after this one. There's no exact date, but again, I'll keep you guys updated and hopefully we see this. I think that's pretty cool. Why not just keep restocking it? So 450s, we've kind of been talking about how they're all monochromatic. They all kind of look super similar. If you have one, you got them all. Well, Yeezy heard that and they're like, yo, we need to change something up. So this is what they did. Now, we have spoke about this before. We did see the rendered image, but seeing these on foot, damn, son, these look crazy as hell. I think it makes this shoe almost look wooden, like the back kind of looks like carved wood. I don't know, it's very interesting. The colorway in general is pretty interesting. They're calling this cinder, so it's kind of a dark cinder brown, but seeing it on foot looks pretty crazy. We've also got some in-hand pictures, which again, just look how that midsole looks wooden or like marbled and then varnished. I don't know, it looks super insane. May is the time that we can expect this one. I don't think it's necessarily the most exciting release from Yeezy brand. We've got a bunch of other articles that we're going to be talking about today, which would say that there's a lot more coming from Yeezy that could be potentially more exciting than this. But either way, I would like to know your thoughts. I'm just happy they're changing it up, quite frankly. I definitely want to try them out. Who knows, maybe I learn to love them. We've got some more Yeezy news. This is just going to be a very brief one because we've spoke about this sneaker. Onyx, this is the newest triple black colorway from Yeezy brand. Looking super clean, just looking like a very easy option for Yeezy to get some sales under their name. Like, these are gonna fly, these are gonna sell out, these are gonna do numbers. Obviously, triple black Yeezy 350s are incredibly popular. Either way, just a reminder, we don't have any specific release date. We just know that these are going to be dropping sometime in spring, so I would imagine maybe March, April, something like that. But yeah, we can look forward to these pretty soon. We got some New Balance news, and it's pretty limited. Like, we don't have too much information on this story, but all we know is New Balance is definitely not going to leave the collaboration with Aime Leon Dore, because they do have another upcoming one which should be releasing in 2022, and it's going to be on the 991. Apparently they have a full collection coming through. I know that they obviously did the 550s, and I believe more recently, did they do the 993 or the 994? Something like that. But there was a recent collaboration which I kind of passed on because I wasn't too psyched about the colorways. But all I know is when these two come together, they're going to make some pretty interesting stuff. 2022, we know that these two brands are going to be coming up with some 991s. Back to Yeezy, because again, like I said, we've got a bunch of Yeezy news to get through, and this is on an upcoming pair of Yeezy 700s. This should be the first 700 that drops in 2022. And they're sticking with the crazier colors. So take a look at this. This is the upcoming sulfur yellow colorway. It's interesting how Yeezy uses the sulfur name. Like, we've had the green sulfur 350s, we had the crazy yellow sulfur knit runner, and now this one, which looks a little bit more mustard or burnt out, and they're all called sulfur. Either way, this all over yellow and black pair of 700s, I gotta say, is relatively clean. I don't mind it whatsoever. And this is something that we actually saw in the Yeezy sample circle of all of those 700. It looks like he's going to be taking off every single one that was in that sample picture. Either way, springtime for this one, so again around, I guess, March, April, something like that, and it's all sporting the new Yeezy logo, which is the sustainable materials indicator that, you know, something on this sneaker is made from some form of recycled materials. Okay, this one's gonna be pretty quick because it's actually pretty funny. Essentially, we saw leaks and rumors of the Drake Air Force One Low certified lover boy, and it had like all of the hearts on the outsole. Well, we got some random information that it was going to be cancelled because they couldn't manufacture, or they found it too difficult to manufacture the little hearts that was on the outsole. Pretty much just an all-white Air Force One with love you forever on the midsole, and then around towards the bottom, instead of the normal texture that you get, it's these little hearts. Now, again, this rumor came out of nowhere, and I was like, damn, really? Nike can't produce these little hearts? That's why they're canceling it? I thought it was pretty crazy. Well, guess what? That was fake news, guys. That's not happening. We got a confirmation from Brandon Dunn. His Nike sources said this is still releasing, which kind of makes sense. It's like, really, you can't make an all-white Air Force One with like a few minor changes to the midsole? That seems a little bit crazy. Either way, anybody who was after this and saw the news that this was cancelled, don't worry. Apparently, it's still definitely dropping. Nike's still pumping out the Chicago-themed dunks. We've got another one. This is the black toe colorway that is a sample for now, but hopefully will be releasing sometime this year. This is an SB Dunk Low, just to clarify. It's got the fatter tongue and probably the more premium materials, I would imagine, because I mean, it even looks like better materials as well. Either way, this looks like a pretty complete sample, so I would imagine this is pretty much going to release. I can't confirm it, and obviously this rumor doesn't confirm it. Let's just cross our fingers, because this is a very dope pair of recipes that I would definitely like to get my hands on. Some more Yeezy news. Listen, we're getting a whole bunch of release dates. I feel like last week's upcoming sneakers was just full of, oh yeah, it should be dropping in spring or this fall. Well, now we have some actual release dates, and that's why we're sticking with Yeezy. This pair right here finally gets a release date. So this is the pure oat or the bone colorway of the Yeezy 350, and now we know it's going to be dropping on March the 11th. So this is the newest triple white pair of 350s, one that I think is going to be very popular. I wanted to get your hands on this one again, March the 11th. We're not going to spend too much time, so let's keep it moving. We're not moving too far because we got another Yeezy update. This is a 350 that was rumored back in 2020, or I guess announced back in 2020 by a bunch of different Yeezy pages. So this is the MX Blue, third and final colorway to complete the MX pack. We had the MX Rock, the MX Oat, and now this is the Blue Frozen pair. Either way, March the 5th, so next month, right at the beginning. March seems like it's going to be a big month for Yeezy brand. Like, they've got a lot of releases that are stacking up to drop in March. On March the 7th, we're getting another round of Yeezy slides, and it's going to be probably one of the more popular pairs of Yeezy slides that's going to drop. That is this Onyx colorway. So this is the, I guess, triple black or all over black pair of Yeezy slides. Again, it's going to be very popular because it's just going to be easy to wear. Along with that Onyx colorway, we're also getting a restock of the pure colorway. This is again coming on March the 7th. I feel like every single new Yeezy slide drop, there's always an inclusion of this pure colorway. These are just flooding the market. The way, if you haven't got a pair of Yeezy slides yet, I highly recommend them. They're super comfortable, and I think these two colorways are fantastic. Either one of them, I think, are going to be a great addition, especially if you can get it for retail. You should definitely feel pretty lucky because they are hard to get. As promised, we're going to take a little peek at the Louis Vuitton Nike Air Force One by Virgil Abloh. So we're going to check what's up with this Sotheby's auction because it is ending in 2 days, and I just want to see how out of hand these prices have been getting. So what's the most expensive one? We'll get this little slider up and let's see. I think it's 80,000. Jeez. So we've got a size 11 for 80 grand. There's 53 bids on it. We've got 2 days left, so this is probably crunch time where people are going to start throwing in wilder and wilder bids. Let's see, this is probably going to push past $100,000 for this pair of size 11 Air Forces. That's insane. We've also got a 10.5 for 60,000, and then we've also got a size 10 for 60,000 as well. It's like, just imagine you're bidding on the size 11. Like, let's say you have the 80,000 bid and you're like, but the size 10.5 is 20 grand less. Whoever's got that highest bid on the size 11 must be looking like, I'm just gonna squeeze my feet into that 10.5 for 20 grand. You may just want to try, but either way, none of these are done yet. Like I said, it finishes, I believe, on the 8th of February, so 2 days left. And again, just keep your eye on this because this is insane. You can also take a look at some of the friends and family colorways, which in my opinion, I think are a lot more interesting. Like, these are pretty clean. They're all over crazy colors. So we've got black, red, purple, green, yellow, blue, orange, and then a darker blue. DJ Khaled got the red pair, I believe. Eminem got the black pair. Offset got the blue pair. And then I can't remember who else, but a bunch of other people got their different colors. In all honesty, I think my favorite has got to be this light blue pair. Yeah, either way, I just wanted to show you guys this. And let's get to the final story for today's video, and of course that is Nike suing Stockx over NFTs. Now the funny thing is I was kind of talking about this story, I believe last week or the week before, something like that, and we were talking about how Stockx has launched all these NFTs and they're getting into the NFT game. Well, yeah, Nike shut that shit down pretty quick because they hit Stockx with a lawsuit, a full-on lawsuit, talking about, yo, what are you doing, bruh? These are our shoes and you're just out here selling images of them? How sad is that? Well, we're gonna slam you with a lawsuit, bruh. You ain't getting away with this. And then once you dig into it a little bit, it's actually pretty interesting because I believe there's been over 500 sales on Stockx for these NFTs, and some of the prices have been pretty insane. Like, people have been buying them for like thousands. Now, if you were a little bit confused by this, like I was, well, a great page to, I guess, check out their take on this topic is over on Instagram. sneaker law firm. He's obviously got a much better understanding of the laws when it comes to this kind of thing and what exactly Nike is suing Stockx for, because I believe Stockx isn't using Nike's images of these products. They're using their own renders or their own images themselves. So Nike can't go after Stockx for a copyright infringement, copyright claim on these images, but they are going to be suing them for Nike's trademark. So yeah, obviously Stockx is using Nike's trademarks because these images are of the sneakers themselves. So it's really interesting, and he's put together all of this information from the original lawsuit that Nike filed, and it shows exactly what Nike is suing Stockx for. And then you can kind of, you know, guess whether it's going to be a settlement, whether they're just going to settle this matter, or whether Nike is just going to follow through and completely get them to stop selling them and also destroy them. What happens to the people who own these things? What happens to the people who have bought these NFTs? How is Stockx going to go about this? It's a really interesting story, not just because it's in the sneaker world, but also how this affects NFTs in general. So I feel like this story is somewhat satisfying. I don't know why. It's like, I mean, you never really want to side with big corporation. Obviously, Stockx was out here just trying to make a quick buck off of the NFT hype. So it kind of is like, yeah, go ahead, Nike. You go ahead. Either way, guys, that is my very brief take on that story. And again, that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. Again, if you want to join me, feel free to do so every single Sunday. That's when we upload these videos. I want to thank you guys so much for coming through, hanging out for yet again another one. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then,